What's going on, everybody? It's Pelfrey, and I'm gonna do a awesome unboxing. Basically, this is a package from Blue Tide Acrylics. It came from Corpus Christi, Texas, and there's kind of an interesting backstory to this this box right here. The auto top off on the Red Sea Reefer is a very good idea, but in all reality, it's horrible. It holds about two and a half gallons, and it's kind of in the way. And once again, I mean, if you're on a budget, excuse me, and you don't want to spend any more money on equipment, and you don't mind topping the auto top off container off every second or third day, whatever, then by all means use it. I'm not trying to do that. I want a container that's going to hold enough water that if I go out of town, I don't have to worry about it. I can fill it up, and I could leave and I don't have to worry about it. So basically, I talk to 915 Mang on a regular basis, and we were discussing my auto top off container situation, and I was looking actually at the Synergy Reef 10 gallon auto top off, and it would have fit in the location that I wanted it to fit in the stand. So 915 and I both went back and forth, and he had mentioned Jake from Blue Tide Acrylics, and I'd never heard of him before. So I said, how do I get in touch with them? Where's a website? So on and so forth. So basically, I went to Blue Tide Acrylics Instagram page. There'll be a link in the description. And I personal messaged the gentleman at the time. I didn't know his name. It's Jake. Asked him if he would be interested in doing a custom build for me. And he said absolutely. So we started working on this project, and I haven't even seen it yet. I haven't opened the box up, but we messaged back and forth. I kind of gave him the rough estimate of the dimensions and what I was looking for, and after about a week or so, I finalized the dimensions. I sent it to him. So if this thing does not fit in the stand, this is 100% my fault. It has nothing to do with his work or anything. It's the measurements that I sent him. But the problem with the Synergy Reef auto top off container was it had clear acrylic. And I don't really have any immediate plans to run a refugium inside of my stand, but at some point if I do, I don't want the clear acrylic in the stand just because it'll grow algae from the light that's in the stand. So I wanted a container built that I wasn't going to have that problem with. Now, mind you, there is one panel on this container that I will have a slight concern about if I do run light inside the stand for whatever reason. But for the most part, there's going to be no light casting going inside this container whatsoever. So basically, Jake makes a bunch of frag racks. From the work that I've seen on Instagram, it looked great. And, you know, acrylic work is something that I've never tried before. It's definitely not something that I want to do, especially since it's going to be holding water. So anyway, we went back and forth. We got the price and everything down. He sent me the invoice. I paid for it. And even during the build, I made a couple changes, and he was 100% I mean, the communication was excellent. He had, no, what's the word I'm trying to say here? Every time I made a change, he did it. I mean, he didn't ask a question. He said, if that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Let's take a look at it. This is the first time I've seen it. I know I've rambled on for 4 minutes now, so let's go ahead and get it opened up. He did. You see it there. Blue Tide Acrylics, reef tanks, and coral frags. So maybe he sells frags. I'm not really sure. So it's packaged well. Anything else in here? But it's packaged well. So this is the container. This is awesome. It looks well built. You know, I've never worked with acrylic before. I don't know anything about acrylic. I do see it'll probably be hard to see for the camera, but up in these corners here, there's reinforcement braces, so you can see we have. I gotta get focused here in the camera. This is my fault. There's his logo there. So basically, on the opposite side, there's a glare in my garage. Now we have gallon marking, so this is right at 9 gallons. It'll probably fit 9.5 gallons, and it's probably, there we go. In the back there is a float switch holder, so that's one of the changes that I had made. But it is a float switch holder, and basically at 2 gallons, I'm gonna wire that up to the Apex so it'll notify me. So on the top of the container, he sent me this lid here, but I have this lid in the front, which will be for filling the container with fresh RO water. And in the back, the same thing. We have a lid that opens up, and this will be used for pumps and running the float switch. So this is awesome, and as you can see, it is all white, and the acrylic top here, and he left the paper on the bottom here. You know, it's a lot of people do this when they're working with acrylic. We're gonna go ahead and just take it off here just because. So very excited about this. I think he has a Facebook page too. You'd have to Google Blue Tide Acrylics. I'm not 100% certain on that, but since we are on the topic of auto top-off containers, this is what I'm going to be using on the tank. So this is the Tunze Osmolator 3155. This is the one with the magnet and the sensor and the backup float switch. So very excited. Jake, I appreciate it. So this is a container. Angle's probably bad here, but this is a container that I am going to be using in my house, in my tank stand. So I have it in some cardboard. I'm gonna fill it up with water, let it set for 24, 48 hours. And once it passes that leak test, we'll move it inside. So you can, we're in the stand now. You can probably hear some humming going on. That is the MJ1200 pump. So if it is really loud, I apologize and just try to ignore it. I have the auto top-off container in my hand right here. And as I stated, I had this measured to fit in this area of the cabinet on the Red Sea Reefer 250. I have not put it in here yet, so let's go ahead and throw it in here, and hopefully it's going to fit. There we are, folks. The auto top-off container fits in there perfectly. So we do have a little bit of wiggle room. But it's in there perfectly. I am going to probably drop the Apex energy bar down just a little bit, and I'm gonna get this thing filled up with water, and let's see where we can go from here. All right, so we got the Tunze 3155 hooked up, and I need to figure out a way to get that pump to set level, but I only put about 5 gallons of water in here. I just want to see exactly how much I'm evaporating with the new auto top off and the new controller. I got the, excuse the shakiness, the float switch here that's not wired up currently, the feed tube to the sump, and then the pump power here. I got the pump mounted here, and I'm actually going to move it down a little bit. I just have to get some double-sided tape or some Velcro. And then I ran all of the cables back behind the stand, and then the feed tube comes in here, and this is going to change as well, but for now it's going through a piece of soft silicone tubing. And basically the reason why you do this is to prevent a siphon. So once the pump kicks on, it'll draw the water to this point, and then it'll just make a free fall down the silicone tubing. I am going to change that. I do have this piece here that will be going in, and it will look something like that right there. So I have to get just a few supplies to get that set up. For now, I just wanted to use the soft silicone tubing just to get it up and running, and this way if I do run into any issues, they will be easy to correct. So I did have to, the plug for the Tunze is quite a bit bigger, and a lot bigger than all the other plugs I have in here. So I had to move my Kessil light over to number 7 on the apex and move the Tunze to number 5. So I need to reprogram those outlets. I was going to move the energy bar down, but I ended up leaving it where it's at. As it sits right now, if I need to plug another AquaMaxx cable in, it's going to be kind of difficult. So I did mount the sensor, of course, in the return chamber over here, and the magnet holding it is in the drain section. So this is one of the reasons why I went with this particular auto top off, because number one, it does use a sensor and a magnet, and second, being the magnet is 100% closed, so I am able to submerge it in water. With the sump being so close to the walls of the stand, I just don't have the real estate to put the magnet on the outside of the stand, so that's why it's on the inside. I did remove the Red Sea auto top off container. That thing is just a pain in the ass and was in the way, and I did remove, there was a float switch here, but as it sets, this thing will better control the amount of water that's getting added to the system. So all in all, I'm very happy, I'm very excited. I do need to clean up my wiring quite a bit. That's a project for later. I have a couple more things that I need to wrap up on the tank, and that should be it for quite some time. But I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I think I've addressed everything. This video is going to be quite long. But once again, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.